Hey, it's Scotty. I'm a volunteer at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue, and this is my rescue piggy, Pipsqueak. Now, I want to talk about emergency kits and some essential items for your emergency kit. It's really important that you're prepared in case of an emergency or a sudden illness. And after that, Pipsqueak wants to mention something that he's very proud of, and so am I. But I'm going to put him back right now because he gets very squirmy and anxious when we go over all these things. So I'll bring him back after this video, and he wants to tell you something. He has a special announcement. Okay, come on. Here you go, Pippy. All right, so I want to talk about 20 essential items that you need for your emergency kit. Now, at the end of this video, like I said, Pippy has a special announcement, and then there will also be a link to my free guinea pig care guide where you can find all of these items in a little bit more detail, links to some of the particular ones that we recommend. There are certain brands of, say, emergency food or vitamin C, probiotics, etc., etc. And there are links to those. Those are affiliate links, and those help me with my rescue efforts. They help me raise money to volunteer and to make videos and all of that. And so I'm really grateful if you consider using those links. There are also links down in the description below for some of these items. My free guinea pig care guide on my website is comprehensive, and it goes through everything from bonding and cage mates to cage setup, diet, and taming, anything related to handling your piggies, giving them health checks, nail clips, baths, all that stuff, and common illnesses, learning about common illnesses, what the signs and the symptoms, and what the treatments are, and whether or not you might need a vet or if it's something that you can handle at home. So that's where a lot of these essential items come in, because even though you can treat a lot of things at home, that's still never a substitute for a vet. But let's get into the list. First thing that you definitely need is oral syringes. Now, oral syringes come in several different sizes. For me, the most useful is the 1 milliliter syringe, but you may also find the 3 milliliter and 5 milliliter syringes to be very useful as well. And you need those syringes for numerous things, like number 2, critical care, which is a emergency food. It's a powdered food that you would mix in water, and Oxbow is critical care, but there are other brands as well. There's Amir Aid and there's Sherwood. There's a number of brands, and in a pinch you can blend up pellets with water, but I really recommend having different types of critical care at home, different flavors, because when you have piggies, especially when they're long-term needing supplemental emergency food, they can get sick of that same flavor. So get as many as you can, keep them in your emergency kit. Number 3, electrolyte mix. So that is basically what we drink, what athletes drink, Gatorade, but it's for dehydration, and it provides essential electrolytes, which are really important. Pedialyte or a generic brand, any place where they have baby food or baby, a baby section, your big box stores, even the supermarket, usually should have Pedialyte or a generic electrolyte mix. Really important to have. Keep that on hand. If your piggies are showing sunken eyes, or if they're just not eating or drinking enough, giving them a little bit of electrolyte mix is huge, very important. Okay, number 4, Benabac Probiotic. Now, that is a probiotic paste or a gel. It comes in a syringe. You'll see it in the illness section of my care guide. You can use it if your piggies have soft poops. It's generally a good idea to just give them a little bit of probiotics every once in a while. Most pigs really actually like it. It has an interesting flavor that they seem to actually like. Just to let you know also, you can get probiotics from critical care, other emergency foods, they always or almost always often have a yeast ingredient in them. So you want to read the label of the emergency food that you have chosen. But I do know that Sherwood and Oxbow, they do have a yeast culture ingredient, and that does supply probiotics. So a little bit of critical care on a regular basis, not to supplement their diet, but to introduce some probiotics, really good for them. Okay, number 5, eye wash or sterile saline solution. Some kind of emergency eye wash. If your piggy gets a hay poke or there's something in their eye, you can flush it out gently. You want to use something that is sterile, like saline solution, or they actually make emergency eye wash. You know, people who work in, you know, factory or some kind of industry where their eyes, there is a potential for an injury or some exposure to something, that emergency eye flush liquid, you can get that. I have links to it on my website in my care guide. Continuing with eyes, we have Terramycin ophthalmic ointment. So Terramycin ointment is an antibiotic ointment specifically designed for the eye. And you would use that, again, if your piggy has a hay poke, after you flush it out. You want to make sure to get anything out there. But if they have any kind of an eye injury, or if they scratch their eye for whatever reason, keeping that eye lubricated and with the antibiotic ointment can prevent actually them losing their eye, but it can also help in the healing process. Now, there are alternatives like a gel, genteel. It's a eye lubricant, or, you know, tears, things like that. You can use those, but I prefer Terramycin ointment. Now, if your guinea pig has an injury that is not showing any signs of getting better within 24 hours, then you want to go to the vet and you want to see what the vet recommends, because in some cases antibiotic drops are better than the antibiotic ointment. But I've never really seen a case where there was a bad injury and putting something on it right away was not a good idea. When guinea pigs have eye injuries, sometimes their eye can really swell up, like pop out. There are some really extreme cases, and Saskia at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue has documented numerous times where the most frightening, horrific, gory injuries to eyes were 99% almost completely fully recovered, you know, or even completely fully recovered just by, you know, eye ointment, and then in some cases adding an oral antibiotic. When it gets really bad, you're going to want to use an antibiotic, but that topical ointment goes a long way to keep that eye lubricated and moist when it is popped out and injured. So like I said, if you don't see any improvement within 24 hours, then you definitely need to reach out to a vet. All right, moving on. Styptic powder, number 7. Styptic powder is a powder that you would put on your piggy's nails if you cut them too short and they bleed. There is a version of the Styptic powder that has a pain relief, but in a lot of cases, if you go a little too far, your piggy might wince, but you just put the Styptic powder on and they're really over it just that quickly. Now, I mentioned this in a video once, and somebody commented saying you don't want people to have a false, you know, impression that if they clip way down that doesn't hurt them. It does. Of course it does. And I was surprised at the comment, because you wouldn't think that you would need to tell somebody not to cut the guinea pig's nails all the way down to a nub. Their nails are not like our nails. They have the quick that goes out through part of or most of that nail. Now, of course, when it grows too long, there's a substantial part that doesn't have the quick, but you don't want to hit the quick. But if you do hit it a little bit, then it's not a big deal. And the more you keep your piggies trimmed, the more that quick recedes. The more you, or the less you trim, the more you neglect their nails, the longer that little filament is going to grow out. And when you trim even just a little bit, it may bleed. So again, don't worry too much if it bleeds. That's what the Styptic powder is for. But, you know, you're not cutting it down to the finger. That's cruel and not necessary. So I have several videos about how to do nail clips. If you are worried about it, if you're scared, it's better to try it and do it, you know, and be patient than to just neglect it altogether. You don't want to do that. But Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue and many places, many rescues may offer free health checks, and nail clips would be included. Number 8, gauze and vet wrap. There are numerous situations where you might need gauze or vet wrap to wrap your piggies for an injury. If they come down with mange, which is a microscopic mite that affects their skin, there may be a number of reasons. Or if your piggy has a break or a bite or something, there may be a number of reasons why you might need gauze or vet wrap. So let me know in the comments, what do you use gauze or vet wrap for? Now, this is a good time to remind everybody, maybe if you're new here, the comments are a treasure trove and a wealth of experienced guinea pig owners. Now, I've been volunteering at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue for over 10 years, but we have people that are regular viewers of the channel who also have had guinea pigs for quite a long time. Many of them are volunteers with their local rescues, and that does also remind me, on my website, I have a worldwide rescue list. I've got a worldwide vet list. At the end, there will be a link. It's scottysanimals.com. I put these resources together for you, for all of us, so that we have the tools that we need to give our piggies the best life. And that's why I've been volunteering so long, because guinea pigs are wonderful, amazing animals, and they deserve the best, even though so often they slip through the cracks. And just like any pet store animal, they find themselves in sometimes very unfortunate circumstances, which is why you should always adopt and not shop. So let's keep going. Cotton buds, cotton balls, cotton, any kind of cotton like that, where you can use it to clean a wound or to maybe wipe debris. I might even also include like those eye wipes, those pads. So something like that, a couple different things, you know, Q-tips, cotton balls, eye wipes, to help clean a wound or to apply an antiseptic, something like that. Very important. Now, look at this, number 10, tweezers. We were talking about hay pokes earlier. There could be a number of reasons why you might need tweezers, especially if there is something stuck in your piggy's eyes. A flush is good, but you may need tweezers to pull it out. Of course, I'm sure we all have tweezers anyway, so it's good to, you can get a cheap pair probably at the dollar store and just put it in your emergency kit. Really helpful. Just like that, also number 11, scissors. Scissors are important for cutting the bandages or the gauze, or there's an, you know, if your piggy has their hair has some kind of a clump or a knot. There's a number of reasons why you might need scissors, or maybe there's a package of something, critical care, something, you can't open it properly. Scissors are a very useful tool, and there's many reasons when it comes to guinea pig care why you would want some scissors. So having a dedicated pair of scissors in your emergency kit is just going to make your life a whole lot easier. So definitely get a pair of scissors or two, you know, a couple different size scissors for different purposes, maybe some cuticle scissors and maybe some just larger kitchen scissors or something like that. Number 12, activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is really good if your piggy has diarrhea or really runny poops. Now, Benebac, which we mentioned before, is great for soft poops. It actually can help get those poops more solid. But if your piggy has runny poops, diarrhea, then it can help alleviate that. Now, if your piggies have really dark, smelly, foul diarrhea that doesn't get better within 24 hours or so, then there might be some really bad bacterial bloom, and antibiotics can actually help that. But if you wake up, your piggy has some diarrhea, give them some activated charcoal. It is also really good if for some reason they have eaten something that they shouldn't. Now, again, if there's some type of poisoning happening with your piggies, then you got to go to the vet. Having these items and being prepared in an emergency doesn't mean you can do everything at home. So if that is the case, then you really need to reach out to a vet. But there was an experience that I had where someone reached out to me. They gave a very small baby some ivermectin paste. Now, we don't recommend that. Ivermectin treats mange, mites, lice, and parasites. We usually do a drop of the liquid on the ear, and you can do that once every 3 months as a preventative, or once a week for 3 weeks, or every 3 days or so, 3 doses to cure mange mites. But this person reached out to me because they had given the paste and they gave too much to a very small animal, and this baby guinea pig was experiencing vertigo, and we gave them activated charcoal to sort of neutralize some of these compounds, and they made a full recovery, thankfully. But it was very nerve-wracking and scary there for a little while. But diarrhea cure, activated charcoal, it's your friend. And it works on people too. Number 13, antiseptic solution. So we're talking bites, wounds. There are a number of reasons why you want to have antiseptic. We're talking Bactine, which is like a spray, or Betadine, which is like the iodine, and you can dilute that in water, put it on a cotton ball, and you can clean wounds. Okay, so whether it's a shallow bite or a scratch, or if it is something deeper, that Bactine, that antiseptic is really important to have, and that can work in conjunction with antibiotic ointment. And that's going to be coming up. So antibiotic ointment, well, first, like I said, these are not in any particular order. So number 14 is vitamin C supplement. A vitamin C supplement like Child Life Liquid Vitamin C, or the Oxbow vitamin C cookies. There's a number of brands that have cookies. I think Science Selective has some vitamin C cookies, but I love Child Life Liquid Vitamin C. You can use it to put on the tip of a syringe if you're feeding medicine. You can give your piggies a squirt every day, just a little squirt, or even up to a full milliliter syringe, and that gives them a whole day supply of vitamin C. But having a vitamin C supplement, really important to have, not just for their daily use, but like I said, if they have some bad tasting medicine that they need to take, and getting them used to that syringe, whether it's with liquid vitamin C or water, it's going to be really important for when, not if, but when at some point in your piggy's life, they will need to take some oral medication. We all get sick from time to time, so that vitamin C can help them learn that the syringe is not to be feared. So now we've got number 15, antibiotic ointment. So we're talking Neosporin or Bacitracin, something like that. Can really, once you've cleaned a wound, you can put that on there, and that can help to prevent infection. Pretty self-explanatory. All right, now we've got number 16, a digital kitchen scale. So a scale, they don't even have to be that big, normally about this big, a kitchen scale. Now you don't want a little digital scale, but a scale like this that can show in grams. It's really important to have so that you can weigh your piggies, so that you know as their life goes on, if they're gaining weight, if they're losing weight, if they're maintaining weight. And if you're going to weigh them, it's a good idea. Say you're going to weigh them today. Maybe you weigh them in the morning before you've fed them, before you've replenished their food bowl or filled their hay racks or given them a treat, and then in the afternoon, and then in the evening, maybe after you've given them veggies, because guinea pigs can gain or lose 20 to 50 grams in a day, just water weight and just eating veggies and things like that. So really important to kind of weigh them a couple times. And you can get a plastic shoebox that you put on the scale, and then you zero it out. So you put them in that, and it's bouncing on the scale, because let's face it, kitchen scales are kind of small, and some of my piggies are pretty big. And so it's a good idea to put them in that. Okay. Number 17, a heating pad. So just a pet-safe heating pad. They make heating pads for pets. They even make some that you stick in the microwave, or you can put in warm water. You can even use those pocket warmers. You just want to be careful that depending on what you're using, that it doesn't get too hot. Most of these heating pads designed for pets will stay at a very safe temperature, but sometimes you want to put like an extra blanket over top. So you just want to be conscious of, in a lot of these heating pads, they're adjustable, so you can get them warmer or cooler. So you just want to be conscious of, is it too warm, is it too cool, is it a hot day, is it a cold day, because maybe your pigs get sick in the winter, maybe they get sick in the summer, maybe, depending on what time of year it is, you may not need to crank that heating pad up as hot. So just keep that in mind. But a heating pad, something if your piggies are sick, if your piggies are not feeling well, if there's some emergency, if they're crashing, keeping them warm is essential. Number 18, we're moving right along. We're almost done here. Nail clippers. You got to have nail clippers. Like I said, you got to clip your piggies' nails. On my website, in the taming section, I have 2 different nail clippers that I really like. One of them is the Green Bells, and they are very nice. They are Japanese, they're stainless steel. They're not cheap, but they are perfect, making those nails feel like you're cutting through butter. And then there's another one which are also really well made, which have a really wide open mouth or teeth, whatever you want to call it. Because sometimes when piggies get older, their nails get very thick, and sometimes the regular nail clippers, the nail's too thick for them. Now you can just use plain old Dollar Tree nail clippers. Some people like to use the ones that look more like scissors. Whatever you feel comfortable with, it doesn't really matter, but listed on my website are the ones that I prefer, the ones that I find very useful. Number 19, towels. Now it kind of goes without saying, but there's a number of reasons why you might need some towels, whether you're giving your piggies baths, or whether you have to, syringe feed them or hold them, or if they're not feeling well. Having some, a stack of dedicated towels for your guinea pigs is just a no-brainer. You could use your own towels, it doesn't matter, but having towels ready and available in an emergency is really important. Just get some towels, get some cheap towels. They don't have to be really fancy and expensive, but you want to get some nice absorbent towels. So definitely do that. All right, number 20, the last one. Having a pet carrier is really important. And actually, you may want a couple different types of carriers. I've reviewed a number of carriers. If you search Scotty's Animals guinea pig carriers, you'll probably find a number of videos about that. Now, I really like, let's look here. I really do like the Cavi carrier. This is a really good one. If your piggy's not feeling well, it's got a lot of good airflow. It opens from the top and the side. It's got a pocket here for medicine and things like that. It's got a nice handle. It even has a place where you can put hay inside there, which kind of overkill. I do talk about, I have a whole video about traveling on the road with your piggies, and I like to actually have a CNC cage or some larger cage or a pet store cage when I'm actually traveling with them. But in an emergency, having a nice, smaller carrier is absolutely essential. You don't want to go too small. They've got to be able to turn around. They've got to feel safe. You don't want them to feel constricted. Some of them can get very hot, so you may need to put some frozen water bottles in a sock in there. And since right now it happens to be summertime, just get a couple regular small water bottles, put them in the freezer, because you never know, and it's great to have them. And if you don't have AC, or if you have a problem with the temperature where your piggies are, you can put those in all summer. I know a lot of people that do that. I do that when it gets really warm, but now we've got basically the central air, and so our piggies are always comfortable here. So there you go. That is 20 must-have items for your emergency kit. It is not a complete list. There are many more things that you might need for your emergency kit. So check out the free guinea pig care guide on my website. And at the end here, I'm going to put the emergency kit playlist here. I go to Dollar Tree and You'd be surprised how many items for your emergency kit you can find at like a dollar store. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but some of these items you do want to get quality, but you would be surprised. I mean, you can get cotton balls very cheap, Q-tips, there's a number of towels. You don't have to spend a lot of money on most of these items. Some of these items you're going to want to invest in good quality tools. So let me grab Pippy because he wants to tell you something. Here you go, Pippy. There's your healthy snacker. So Pippy is really excited. He wanted everybody to know that we created an emergency kit bag. So there's two different ones. They are on my Etsy shop right now. You can see them right here. And they have that entire list that I just read. And Pippy is the model on there. He looks super cute. And so obviously not all 20 of these items are going to fit in this bag. Okay, you know, you're not going to be able to fit a bunch of towels and a scale and, I don't know, a heating pad in this bag, but many of the essential items you could stuff in this bag, and there's a couple different bags, but it is a way to keep this list handy. And I actually, if you don't want a bag, I also came up with a sign. So this is like a foam poster board that has the list that you can hang up or put up next to your piggy's cage to be reminded. Now, I'm going to copy this list and put it in the description. So feel free to copy and paste and just, you're making a mess. And just print that out. You don't have to spend money. But of course, my Etsy shop is where I am raising funds for my rescue efforts. And of course, my Patreon and channel members, thank you guys so much. You guys make everything possible. And so I'm really so grateful to be able to make these videos, to volunteer, and to share what I've learned at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue, working with some of the best exotic vets here in California and around the world. What? Oh my gosh. You are making such a mess, dude. So on behalf of me, Pippy, and all the rest of the piggies, thank you guys so much. Right here, I will put the emergency kit playlist right here. And of course, down here, there is a link to the free guinea pig care guide on my website, as well as all the other resources that we have accumulated over the years. So I hope you'll familiarize yourself with those. And I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. It really helps the channel. Until next time, thanks for watching. You're making such a mess.